Shortly, we will begin the services for Miss Holly Ann Margolis. Just a few brief announcements before we begin and before the family enters the sanctuary. I want to welcome everyone here present at North Shore Congregation Israel, as well as those viewing the service from online. The interment will take place at Shalom Memorial Park in Arlington Heights. For those of you that will be joining our procession, we will make sure that you receive an orange funeral sticker to be placed on the inside portion of your front windshield, as well as a magnetic flag for on top of your vehicle. And please keep in mind to use your emergency flashers at all times during the procession, and try to stay as close as safety will allow to the car in front of you to avoid large gaps in the procession. The Shiva will be today and tomorrow from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. here at North Shore Congregation Israel. So again, that's Monday and Tuesday from 4 to 8 p.m. The following individuals have been selected to serve as pallbearers. At the conclusion of the service, I'll ask the following people to please step forward to help escort Holly's casket from the sanctuary. Patrick Cash, Keith Londo, David Miller, Jamie Davidson, Peter Davidson, Ben Shapiro, Joe Shapiro, and Adam Singh. We'll ask everyone to please rise at this time as the family enters the sanctuary.
We so wish we were not here today to mourn and grieve for Holly. And yet our tradition teaches us that there is some comfort, some softening for those who mourn if they are surrounded by those who love them. And so this day here in this community, we commit ourselves to embrace Holly's cherished family, those she loved the most, in our arms, with our presence, so that they know they do not walk through the valley of the shadow of death alone. This is the greatest act of love and kindness we can offer. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we will remember her. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we will remember her. In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring, we will remember her. In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of the sun, we will remember her. In the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we will remember her. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we will remember her. When we are weary and in need of strength, we will remember her. When we are lost and sick at heart, we will remember her. When we have joys we yearn to share, we will remember her. So long as we live, she too will live, for she is now a part of us. As we remember her. The 23rd Psalm.
Adonai, rohi lo exal, b'note sheyar b'tzeini, al mei menuchot, ינעלני. נפשי ישובב, ינחני במעגלי צדק, ינחני במעגלי צדק, למען שמו. גם כי אלך בגיא צל מוות לא אירא, כי אתה עמדי, שבטך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני. תערוך לפניי, שוב לך נגד צורריי, דשנת ושמן ראשי כוסי רוויה. אך טוב וחסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי, כל ימי חיי, ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים. אדוני רואי לא אחסר, אדוני רואי לא אחסר.
The English translation of the 23rd Psalm is on the inside page of the pamphlet you received. As I mentioned before, one of the greatest acts of love and care we can offer for Holly's family is simply to be here with our presence and to surround them with our love. As the words of this psalm have been a comfort to so many throughout the ages, I'll invite us to join together in one voice with love, offering the English of the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The 90th Psalm. Adonai ma'onata hayita lanu bedor vador, B'terem harim yuladu vatcholel eretz v'tevel, ume olam ad olam ata el. God, you have been our refuge in every generation. Before the mountains came into being, before you brought forth the earth and the world, from eternity to eternity, you are God. You return us to dust. You decree, return you mortals. For in your sight, 1,000 years are as yesterday when it has passed, a watch in the night. The span of our life is limited, and the best of those years have trouble and sorrow. They pass by speedily, and we are left in darkness. So teach us, God, to number our days that we might attain a heart of wisdom. Turn to us, show mercy to us, satisfy us at daybreak with steadfast love, that we might yet sing for joy all our days. Let your deeds be seen by your servants, your glory by their children. May your favor, O God, be upon us. Establish the work of our hands, that it might long endure. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch. To love, to hope, to dream, and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, but a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me. Your laugh once lifted me. Your word was a gift to me. To remember this brings painful joy. It is a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death can touch. We so wish we were not here, gathered in this space to mourn, and to mourn for Holly. There is no silver lining in this. We are not here to find one. We are here to mourn for Holly, for the fact that she is gone too soon, for all the things that should have been. Lindsay and Jory have lost their mom. David and Pat, their mother-in-law. Quinn, Phoebe, Landon, and baby Cameron have lost their grandmother. Sherry, her sister. Stuart, Toby and Raj, Wendy and Jeremy, their sister-in-law. Jamie, Beth, Peter, Keith and Carly, Kim, Laura and Gary, Shayna, Adam and Emily, Eric and Katie, their aunt. And countless many have lost the very best great aunt, cousin, and friend. And yet, amidst all of that, We must not allow Holly's death to come to define her life and how we remember her. Rather, we are called upon to remember her for the fullness of who she was as a person, for how she lived her life, the countless lives she touched, for the mark she made on this world, and the legacy she now leaves behind. So as we move forward into an opportunity to remember her, before continuing with these words, I just want to invite everyone to look at this picture of Holly and bring this Holly into your hearts, into your mind's eye. Think of her smile. See if you can hear her voice in your ear. And let her be with you in this way as we remember her. Holly was born to her parents, Hy and Shirley, on October 2nd, 1954, truly the baby girl of the family, with her sisters Robin of blessed memory and Sherry, born 8 and 11 years earlier, respectively. The family lived in Austin, next to Oak Park, on Van Buren Street, in a 2-story home, with Holly's maternal grandparents living on the first floor, and Hy, Shirley, Sherry, Robin, and Holly on the second. Holly was adored always. She was a darling baby, doll-like, a cherubic face, tiny body. Her parents doted on her and loved her immensely. She was incredibly close with them for the entirety of their lives. And Sherry and Holly shared a notably cherished relationship always, a bond established really from the very beginning, as Holly, from the moment she was born, was Sherry's pet. The two could talk to each other about anything, and they did. Holly often turned to Sherry for counsel. Their phone calls always ended with the words, love you more. As Holly grew into the different phases of her childhood, she was always beloved and well-liked by many of her friends. When the family moved to Skokie, she attended Niles North High School, where she was a cheerleader, an appropriate moniker for her, something she carried on as a characteristic, cheering other people on for the entirety of her life. She was social, part of a group of friends known as the Peanuts due to their cute, petite stature. Holly went on to attend NIU for college, graduating with a degree in special education. She worked for CPS on the south side of Chicago and was moved from school to school, as was CPS's approach at the time, something Holly wished were a little bit different. Holly and Jordan married. 3 years later, Lindsay came along, followed by Jory 2 years after that. The family made their way from West Rogers Park and Aunt Toby's house up to Summit Avenue and Highland Park, where the girls really grew up. During those years, Holly enjoyed playing tennis, volunteering with Na'amat alongside Edith, with whom she was very close. She and Jordan enjoyed a great social life with couple friends. They loved attending art fairs, going out to dinner, traveling too. We'll hear from Lindsay and Jory in a few minutes, but it must be said that Holly was an all-in kind of mom raising her girls. She stopped working when she was pregnant with Lindsay so she could be fully present for her children. She was involved in their lives in every way, on the PTA, driving all the carpools, attending everything. She was nurturing, easy to relate to, an amazing listener, and she loved creating special, memorable moments for her girls, in particular on Halloween, Valentine's Day, and birthdays. Holly wanted her daughters to be confident and to believe in themselves, something she really prioritized in raising them. And just as Holly was there for her girls always, Lindsay and Jory have truly been there for Holly, in particular through these past 2+ years since her shocking diagnosis, by her side, supporting her, fighting for her to be able to live the best possible life she could despite everything she was facing. And it wasn't easy. It's a true testament to the love they shared for their mom and the love their mom had and the trust their mom had in each of them and both of them. As a mother-in-law, Holly was just so happy to have sons, and she particularly loved it when David and Pat called her mom. She loved both of them. She was always supportive and proud. And not surprisingly, as a grandmother, Holly's grandchildren lit up her life. Grandma Halls loved talking and bragging about each of them. She loved playing with them and doing art projects. And though it was so hard, there is some blessing in knowing that even as she was so sick, Holly knew that Cameron was born just 2 weeks ago. Family was really everything to Holly. She loved her brothers and sisters-in-law. She was so close with her nieces and nephews, along with her great nieces and nephews too, and they all loved and adored their Auntie Holly. And of course, Holly was a wonderful and devoted friend to so many over the course of her life, maintaining lifelong relationships with many of them. Holly loved to have a great time. She had a fun, spirited, spunky, and bubbly personality on top of her caring and loving nature, qualities that just drew people to her. She really was everyone's cheerleader. Her beautiful cards, handwritten in her perfect penmanship for every occasion, stand out as a testament to her understanding of the fact that love is in the details. She loved music, chocolate, pizza, and cheeseburgers. She loved anything in the shape of a heart. She had a bright smile, and she had so much more life to live. Holly did not live long enough, and her death leaves an immense void. But we will remember Holly for the meaningful life she lived while she was with us, and for the many gifts of her heart, which blessed countless many and will truly be her enduring legacy. May her memory always and only be for a blessing. We have the opportunity now to hear first from Holly's lifelong friend, Kathy Backus.
Today, we stand together as one heart. Under God's protection, we assemble our creative energies to honor my best friend, and maybe yours, Holly Ann Margolis. I certainly don't have to tell you that Holly was the essence of compassion, graceful and beautiful. When you were with her, her smile made you sparkle, and she touched your heart with her caring words. Holly was more than just a friend. She was a pillar of strength, support to everyone she knew. Holly always gave you the honest truth and frosted it like a cake, with the softness that you needed to face what she had to say. Holly's selfless compassion for her friends and her family often left her needs unattended, but the uncanny thing about Holly's relationships were that all the goodness she gave out always came back to her tenfold. to fill her up with everything she needed when she needed it most. From a room with a view in a beautiful friend's home, to delicious home-cooked meals, tickets to a play, weekends in Lake Geneva, a warm, sunny vacation in Florida, California, and Arizona, Holly had many beautiful blessings in her life, starting with her family and also all of her friends. When she was hit hard with cancer, pancreatic and liver, her daughters Lindsay and Jory found Dr. Block. He tended to her with a team of people that were just like her, compassionate and kind, and they had a creative approach to fighting her cancer. Although she found her treatments inconvenient because she could not work again, God worked in mysterious ways by giving her the money she needed for her integrated treatments that the insurance didn't cover. Jory and Lindsay created a GoFundMe, and well, like they say, timing is everything. We had just had our 50th year reunion, and everyone wanted to help. Holly was the kind of friend who always knew how to make you feel seen, how to make you feel heard, and mostly how to make you feel valued. Whenever you needed a shoulder to cry on, a listening ear, or someone to share a laugh with, she was always there for you. Without a doubt, she made you feel like the only person in the room. She truly understood the complexity of everybody's heart. There's no doubt why Holly and I have been best friends for 59 years, when we were the Peanuts. 2 years ago, she sat me down and said, "No offense, Kath," something she said quite often, "but you can't keep hosting all these charity events and vacations like you do, because you need to take more time for yourself. I'm sure you could scale your trips back, put more people on them. Am I right?" Yes, of course she was right. She was always right. So I changed my ways, and I never looked back, because Holly knew best. It was moments like these that showed the depth and the breadth of just how genuinely Holly cared for her friends and her family. In close, Holly was not just a great friend, she was a problem solver, she was a cheerleader, and most of all, she was a peacemaker. While our hearts today ache, we are grateful for the time that we had with Holly. Her legacy lives on in the countless lives that she's touched and the memories that you all have created with her, and in the special songs she sang to her grandchildren. She loved her daughters immensely, so proud of her son-in-laws. And her grandchildren lit up her life. When I was there last week, all the toys were still on the side of her bed. And I said, "Holly, what are you going to do with these toys?" She said, "Play with them when the girls come over." As we move forward without Holly's physical being with us, there is one way we can all honor my chosen sister and my very best friend, and that is to be the kind of friend that Holly was to others. Always be supportive, always be compassionate, and always be kind. We can carry her spirit with us forever, reminding us to live in gratefulness every day. We can grieve, we cry, because we're human beings. But Howes would say, straighten your crown, don't overthink it, and maybe have some chocolate. So tonight at the Shiva, take a chocolate, and savor the sweetness of the moment and the rich experience that you will hold tight in your heart all the days of your life. I love you, Holly. To you, be peace.
Thank you for those beautiful words. We'll hear now from Jory and from Lindsay.
My beautiful mama bear. How is it that we're standing before you in a moment like this? I'm in disbelief and entirely shattered. You held me through my first breath and throughout every moment of my life. And now I held you through your last breath. You stared into my eyes and mine into yours, and I had you. You were not alone. I know you were scared, Mom. I wish you were ready. You fought truly until your very last breath because you wanted to live, and you had an inner strength that was unrecognizable. Now I truly know where I get so much of my strength from, because you showed me without even realizing. You have been my greatest cheerleader every day, every moment of my life, and I was yours. I still am. We finished each other's sentences, always called each other when the other was just about to, and provided touch through hand-holding and hugs, knowing what the other needed in the moment and without the need for any words. Being in each other's presence provided unconditional comfort. We just understood each other. Although you didn't always believe me when I told you how beautiful and brave you were, deep down I know you did. You have Marzen blood and Margolis spirit, and that combination is unstoppable. You were the most nurturing, loving, devoted mother. You spent your life caring about others and dedicating yourself to Lindsay and me. I told you a million times, and I will continue to say, Lindsay and I didn't become the women we are today on our own. You raised us, you nourished us, you poured all of your energy into us, and now we have the ability to live heartbroken but strong together as we march on. Lindsay and I have had some tough years. However, something I can say with conviction is that we have a powerful and dynamic sisterhood, one that any mother would be proud of. That was you, Mama. Thank you for the gift of privilege and love. Life will never be the same. I will never be able to erase these heart-wrenching memories, yet we walked hand in hand together through life, and that's how we did it through the very end. And now we will find our new way in soul and spirit. I asked you to show me a sign, and I will be forever searching for it. Recently, you wrote a letter to the grandkids during your hospital stay that I want to share. Dear Quinn, Phoebe, Landon, Cameron, and baby Cash. Hi, everyone. I want to tell you that I have loved every single one of you from the minute you were born. You have brought so much joy and happiness to my life. I'm very happy to be your grandma. I may not be there with you right now, but I will always be in your heart, and yours and mine. Next time when you're outside and you see a shining star that's twinkling extra bright, that's me looking at you, watching you grow to be good, kind people. I love you so much, Grandma. Oh, yes, I said baby Cash. Patrick and I are expecting a baby boy in May, who will be my mom and mother-in-law Patricia's namesake. It truly feels like a life for a life in this family. The circle of life has really shown its true colors this October. His mom turned 70, Lindsay welcomed Cameron, and Mom and Patricia died just 2 weeks to the day apart from one another. I'm not sure what the universe is trying to tell us here, because it's been truly devastating. Though we're holding each other's broken pieces together. When Mom transitioned at 11 p.m., Patrick told me that Landon had awakened in his crib very upset and inconsolable. Patrick thought perhaps he needed a diaper change and went into his room. Patrick is not the dad to go running into Landon's room unless he knows something must be wrong. Landon did not need a diaper change. Patrick described that his heart dropped as he soothed Landon. During that exact moment, I was holding my mom through her last breaths. I told Mom to send me signs and I'll look for them. Perhaps this was the first sign that our souls are all connected. This past week in the hospital, a kind music therapist created a legacy song to the tune of You Are My Sunshine, and with the rhythm of Mom's heartbeat. Mom would sing this song to her grandkids, and I sing it to Landon every night before he falls asleep. I want to play it for you here. This world will never be the same without you, Mom. You got robbed. We got robbed. I will cherish every beautiful moment spent. And we had a lot of them. Thank you for loving me with all of your heart. You have taught me how to be a mother, and I will carry you within me and through your grandchildren forever until we see each other again. I hope more than anything, Papa Hi, Grandma Cheryl and Aunt Robin welcomed you as you transitioned and allowed you a sense of peace. Grandma E, Saba, John, and so many loved ones will take care of you and help you. Watch over the family as we're all together. This is my wish. I love you way up to the sky, forever and ever. Rest easy, Mama. You done good.
Somehow I'm standing here, and somehow I'm going to find the words that are worthy of my mom, Holly Ann Margolis, or Hals as I called her. She had just turned 70 years young. It's not fair. Although I can't capture the full depth of her spirit in a couple of printed pages, I hope to honor her today. Having looked around the sanctuary filled with family and friends, I'm struck by how many lives my mom touched. Your presence here is a testament to the impact she had and the joy she brought into the world. For that, I am profoundly grateful. More than anything, Mom was a cheerleader for life. She cheered for those she loved, for old friends, and for new. My mom brought energy into any room she entered with her radiant smile and upbeat personality. Mom was so herself in a way that was unique and unmistakable. Some of her facial expressions or the remarks that she'd make were oftentimes met with a, "Oh, Hals." At 5 feet tall, with her bright blue eyes and curly blonde hair, she was truly unforgettable. Though she had many gifts and a promising career in special education, my mom chose to devote herself fully to being a mother. From the moment I arrived almost 40 years ago, her world revolved around our family. And when my sister Jory arrived 2.5 years later, our family felt complete. Jory and I felt our family was a little more complete when Madison, the Portuguese water dog, came along. But I digress. Mom made sure we had the best childhood, taught us the values that mattered, and supported us through everything: school, friends, goals, challenges, and celebrations. I've been reminded this past week from some childhood friends that Hals was the original cool mom. Our house was always filled with snacks, friends, and laughter. She was at every PTA meeting, part of every carpool, every track meet, every soccer game, every pom-pom performance. Her loyalty, positivity, and kindness were infectious, and she was as beloved by my friends as she was by her own. As an incredible mother-in-law to my husband, David, she welcomed him as part of the family 16 years ago with open arms and treated him with the same warmth she showed us all. To my daughters, Quinn, who is 7, Phoebe, who is 4, and Cameron, who joined us less than 3 weeks ago, she was Grandma Hals. I will always be grateful that Cameron was born early enough to meet her Gram, who already adored her as she did Quinn and Phoebe. My mom loved a good celebration. Halloween was always a big event for us, especially since Dad and I were born on October 31st. I could always expect a special Halloween-themed birthday card in the mail, arriving early with her beautiful handwriting. It's one of the things I'll miss the most. Her impeccable handwriting, which I did not inherit. Mom took pride in our Jewish heritage, creating a warm, kosher home and making every holiday meaningful. From schlepping Jory and I to Hebrew school in Evanston to hosting Passover, Rosh Hashanah, and Hanukkah, she instilled in us a love for tradition and a deep connection to our faith. My mom believed in bringing people together, and her commitment to family and community was unwavering. Throughout my life, she was my rock. She was my comfort when I moved away for college, my sounding board through law school, and my biggest supporter when I started a family of my own. We spoke almost every day, and even when I would get impatient with her endless questions, I knew the interest came from love. Now that I'm a mother myself, I understand. I understand the depth of a mother's love and the need to know every detail. I wish I could go back and answer all her questions and tell me how much it meant that she asked. My mom was the best role model in love and resilience. She listened without judgment, offered advice with patience, and celebrated every small victory as if it were monumental. Her values, kindness, compassion, and perseverance, are gifts she gave us all, and I will carry them with me always. Her diagnosis with stage 4 pancreatic cancer in 2022 came as a shock, as she had always been the healthiest among us. But she faced it with grace, courage, and a spirit that refused to give up, even through her final week. She fought for 2.5 years, showing us all what true strength and hope look like. As we say goodbye today, let us carry forward her legacy of love, kindness, and joy. May we all strive to be a little bit more like you, Mom, cheering each other on, lifting one another up, and finding beauty in the world around us. Rest in peace, Mommy. I love you.
Jory, Lindsay, thank you so much for those beautiful, beautiful, incredible words about your beloved mom. We'll take a few moments now for our own private remembrances as Cantor Goldstein plays a song that Holly really loved called Lechi Lach.
To a land that I will show you. Lech Lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi Lach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing, Lechi Lach. Lechi Lach, and I shall make your name great. Lech Lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechi Lach, to the place that I will show you. Lesimchat Chayim, Lesimchat Chayim, Lesimchat Chayim, Lechi Lach, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing, Lechi Lach.
If you are able, would you please rise?
אל מלא רחמים, שוכן במרומים, המצא מנוחה נכונה, המצא מנוחה נכונה, תחת כנפי השכינה, במעלות קדושים הטהורים, כזוהר הרקיע, מזהירים את נשמת אהרונה בת חיים, שלחה לעולמה בגן עדן תהי מנוחתה. אנא בעל הרחמים, אסתריה בסתר כנפיך לעולמים, וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתה. אדוני הוא נחלתה, ותנוח בשלום על משכבה, ונאמר Amen.
May the source of life, the fountain of all being, open our hearts to compassion and our eyes to wisdom, that we might glimpse in perfect peace the way of all things. May Holly's memory be for us a blessing, and may we never let the light of her love grow dim in our hearts. May we remember all her worthy and righteous deeds, that her memory be forever bound up in the bond of life. May Holly's death awaken us to this truth, that the bond of love we shared and share can never be severed in sorrow. May she always rest in peace. Amen.